In the hyper-connected landscape of 2026, the tech industry usually looks toward the horizon of artificial intelligence and cloud-based dominance. Yet, a peculiar shadow has begun to stretch across the gaming world, originating not from a Silicon Valley laboratory, but from a small horizontal rectangle released a quarter-century ago. The Game Boy Advance is suddenly the most discussed piece of technology in the world. This isn't just a nostalgic retrospective or a minor retro trend. We are witnessing what insiders are calling the 2026 shadow launch. It started with leaked shipping manifests, cryptic documents moving through global logistics hubs that listed 32-bit legacy architecture and cartridge-based storage modules. Whispers began to circulate among developers about a coordinated effort to reclaim a lost era of play. This resurgence is driven by an unlikely alliance. On one side, we have the Nintendo legacy preservation teams, internal curators who have spent years cataloging the company's vast library. On the other, high-end hardware manufacturers like Analog are perfecting the engineering required to run these games with modern precision. Even indie giants, exhausted by the costs of modern development, are pivoting toward this revival. The timing is deliberate. 2026 marks exactly 25 years since the original GBA hit the market in 2001. Back then, it was the little engine that could, bringing SNES quality power to the palm of your hand. Now, it serves as the foundation for the Relit movement, a collective force of enthusiasts and preservationists who believe the peak of gaming wasn't 4K resolution, but the 32-bit pixel. They are pushing back against a world that has forgotten the joy of simple tactile play. Why does a 25-year-old handheld hold such power over the modern imagination? To understand the GBA is to understand the last pure 2D gaming experience. Before the industry became obsessed with photorealism, the Game Boy Advance perfected the art of the sprite. Today, the AOA gaming industry has become a landscape of bloat. Players are tired of 100GB day one patches, endless microtransactions, and the frustration of always online requirements. The GBA represents the antithesis of this. It was a console where you turned the switch and the game simply started. This isn't just a trend, it's a massive market correction. Consumers are voting with their wallets for an experience that respects their time and their ownership, but the hardware isn't the only thing coming back. Developers are finding something happening in the legacy code that shouldn't be possible, a hidden potential that was locked away for decades, waiting for the right moment to be unearthed by those who still care about the craft. Recent news leaks have revealed a list of golden era titles that are reportedly receiving what insiders call enhanced pixel updates. This is the technical twist that changes everything. These aren't just standard ports or lazy emulations designed to run on a browser. They are native GBA files, optimized through modern FPGA technology to look flawless on high-density screens without losing their 32-bit soul. These files are being discovered in the Vault, a legendary digital storage space for projects that were shelved when the industry transitioned to 3D. It raises a hauntingly beautiful question. What if the games you played as a kid were actually designed for technology that didn't exist yet? What if the developers of 2001 were writing code meant for the screens of 2026? As we peel back the layers of this revival, the mystery only deepens. The Relit movement is proving that the future of gaming might actually be found in its past. Before we continue, subscribe to the channel and tell us in the comments where you are watching from. The technical prowess of these remasters is just the tip of the iceberg, because as the manifests show, there are entirely new worlds being built on these ancient foundations. There is a sense that we are on the verge of a revolution, one where the humble cartridge might once again become the standard for quality and artistic integrity. In an age where digital licenses can be revoked at any time, the weight of a physical GBA cartridge feels like a revolutionary act of rebellion. The Relit enthusiasts speak of the tactile click of the shoulder buttons and the way the screen, now brilliantly backlit and crystal clear, brings vibrant worlds to life. This isn't just about playing old games, it's about correcting a trajectory that many feel has gone off the rails. The 2026 Shadow launch is a signal that the era of disposable digital content might be coming to an end. But the hardware isn't the only thing coming back. Something is happening in the code that shouldn't be possible. This technical realization has sparked a fundamental shift within the infrastructure of major gaming studios. For the first time in decades, the industry is seeing the emergence of dedicated pixel teams. These are elite groups of developers, often comprised of seasoned veterans who worked on the original handheld and young prodigies, fascinated by the constraints of 32-bit architecture. They are being pulled away from cinematic projects to create original native innovative titles specifically for the Game Boy Advance. This isn't a demotion, it is a creative liberation. Interviews with these developers reveal a striking consensus. The technical limitations of the GBA are actually powerful sparks for innovation. While a PlayStation 5 offers near infinite power that often leads to scope creep and creative paralysis, the strict memory and color palette limits of the GBA force a return to core mechanics and visual clarity. Every pixel must earn its place on the screen, and every kilobyte of data must serve the gameplay. This discipline has birthed a new wave of neo-retro titles that feel more responsive and focused than their modern counterparts. By the middle of 2026, the market for these new physical cartridges has exploded, signaling a tipping point where consumers are choosing the permanence of a plastic shell over the fleeting nature of a digital download. This movement is driving a significant pattern interrupt across the global gaming demographic. Interestingly, it is Gen Z, a generation raised on high-definition touchscreens, that is leading the abandonment of 4K graphics in favor of the Game Boy Advance form factor. For these younger players, the handheld isn't just a retro curiosity, it is an escape into comfort. The ergonomic, horizontal design offers a tactile intimacy that a smartphone or a bulky modern console cannot replicate. They are seeking the low-fidelity aesthetic as a counterculture movement against the hyper-processed reality of 2026. From a developer's perspective, the GBA offers a different kind of relief. The rising costs of horriday games have become unsustainable, with budgets ballooning into the hundreds of millions and development cycles stretching toward a decade. For many dying studios facing closure, the 2026 GBA resurgence provides a vital escape route. Developing for a 32-bit system allows them to focus on artistic vision and tight gameplay loops without the crushing weight of modern asset production. The difference is palpable when comparing the tactile feel of these 2026 GBA remasters to digital emulation. While an emulator might offer convenience, it lacks the hardware-level synchronization that gives the GBA its unique soul. The relit movement advocates for the real deal, the physical click of the cartridge and the specific unsimulated latency of the original hardware buttons. This physical connection creates a sense of presence that a glass screen can never match. This demand has triggered a sophisticated hardware arms race among niche manufacturers and insiders. The latest reveals suggest that 2026 is finally the year we see the GBA as it was truly meant to be seen, thanks to breakthroughs in field programmable gate array technology. These FPGA chips do not just mimic the software, they reconfigure their internal circuitry to match the original silicon of the 2001 handheld. This allows for pixel-perfect accuracy on new high-density screens that maintain the original's color depth while eliminating the ghosting and lighting issues of the past. Beyond the visuals, a hidden environmental factor is accelerating this hardware shift. A global lithium-ion shortage has made the production of power-hungry, high-end consoles increasingly expensive and politically sensitive. In contrast, low-power devices like the GBA are incredibly sustainable. They require less energy to manufacture and less power to operate, making them an attractive alternative for manufacturers looking to navigate a resource-constrained world. However, as the relit movement gains momentum and the legacy preservation teams expand their reach, a new tension is surfacing. Nintendo isn't the only giant watching this space with predatory interest. There is a third party, currently operating in the shadows of the manufacturing hubs, that is preparing a move that could disrupt the entire handheld hierarchy. The global economic impact of the 2026 resurgence has triggered a seismic shift in how we perceive the value of interactive media. As the Shadow launch unfolds, the collector's market is experiencing a price surge that rivals the most aggressive tech bubbles in history. Original 2001 hardware is no longer being treated as electronic waste. It has become a premium asset. Pristine Game Boy Advance units are being traded with the same fervor once reserved for rare artwork or high-end watches. This massive valuation is fueled by the intense FOMO effect gripping both veteran collectors and curious newcomers. People are realizing that as the 8AA gaming industry pushes for a landscape defined by digital licenses and temporary access, physical cartridges represent the last bastion of true ownership. Missing out on the 2026 wave doesn't just mean missing a trend, it means potentially losing the chance to possess physical media forever as the industry pivots toward a cloud-only existence. This movement is sending shockwaves through the boardrooms of other industry giants. Both Sega and Sony are reportedly observing this 25-year cycle with predatory precision, planning their own handheld revivals to capitalize on the desire for tactile, localized gaming. They see that the relit movement isn't just about nostalgia, it's a fundamental market correction. This ripple effect is forcing a rethink of long-term strategies, proving that there is a massive underserved demographic that values simplicity and permanence over graphical bloat. As these companies prepare to enter the fray, the Game Boy Advance is solidifying its status as the vinyl record of the gaming world. Much like the resurgence of analog music, this shift toward 32-bit architecture represents a sophisticated rejection of the hyper-connected, always-online noise of the modern era. The societal impact is profound, marking a decisive move away from the exhausting demands of live service games. Players are seeking out intimate offline experiences where the relationship is strictly between the gamer and the handheld. In these private gaming spaces, there are no microtransactions, no intrusive notifications, and no requirement for a high-speed connection. It is a return to the purity of the medium. This cultural shift is dictating the trajectory of the next generation. By 2027, the success of the GBA comeback will likely force a design pivot for mainstream consoles. We are moving toward a future where hardware is judged not by its teraflops, but by its sustainability and its ability to provide a focused, distraction-free environment. The lithium-ion shortage and the demand for low-power devices are accelerating this transition, making the GBA's efficient architecture the blueprint for a greener, more intentional gaming industry. At the very heart of this revolution lies a final, breathtaking revelation. Deep within the vault, the Nintendo Legacy Preservation teams have been working alongside the Secret Pixel teams to finalize a flagship title that was once a ghost of the industry. This specific game, a high-profile project canceled in 2002 during the transition to 3D, is finally being released as the centerpiece of the 2026 revival. It is a title that was originally designed for the far future, utilizing complex coding techniques that the original hardware struggled to execute, but which the new FPGA screens and modern manufacturing standards handle with ease. This isn't just a port, it is the completion of a lost legacy. The mystery third party, a coalition of independent creators and former industry legends, has managed to secure the rights to this masterpiece, ensuring that it remains a physical-only experience. This is the ultimate payoff for the relit enthusiasts, a testament to the fact that great art never truly dies. It simply waits for the right moment to return. Reclaiming ownership of the games we buy is no longer a dream. It is the new reality. If you want to know which game is finally escaping the vault and how to secure your place in this retro revolution before the mainstream media catches on, you need to stay ahead of the curve. Subscribe now and join the inner circle to witness the future of gaming by looking back.